Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with the second Heaven's Feel movie in the Fate's Day Night saga. If I don't know if it's referred to as a saga, but at the end of the day, it's the main overarching sort of story that splits into the different things. With Unlimited Blade Works being one, Heaven's Feel being another. And we are currently on Heaven's Feel, which are movies, and we've reacted to the first one. And you can definitely tell the tonal shift, like the differences between, Unlimited Blade Works and this one. This one's much darker. You can already tell. I mean, of course, when you're going to be getting the Matos kind of heading up that kind of villainous role, of course it's going to be darker. In particular, Zoken, right? Because he's the one who's the ultimate dick. He's the head of the family, and yeah, we have Sakura heading up the main girl sort of role for this one. And yeah, man, like the first movie, I don't know what I expected. But there was some things that just really caught me off guard. Like, the fact that Lance is already dead. That's just a heartbreaker for me, because I just really like Lancer. Speaking of which, there was some fucking idiotic mistakes that I completely made. I completely forgot that in the Unlimited Blade Works show that we actually did find out that Kirei was Lancer's master anyway. And for some reason, that was somewhat blocked out of my mind when I was watching the last movie. And I thought that was never said in the actual show. But it was. So apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, Lancer's dead now anyway, and it's kind of interesting, I guess, with the dynamic of Kirei sort of, he's mediating this Grail war so that there's like almost like a true winner this time, because he felt sort of cheated in the last one, and everything like that. But there was very little Gilgamesh in the first movie. I'm sure he's going to play a bigger role as we get into these last two movies. But, we know that Gilgamesh has said something to Sakura. We don't know what yet. Which, if he is saying things to Sakura, I have to assume that Kirei is also involved in it. And also, how does that mean anything in regards to, are Kirei and Zoken kind of allying up a bit, maybe? That's a bit out there, but the thing is that I don't know where the Gilgamesh talking to Sakura comes in, and also the idea of, like, because Sakura seemingly is whatever this shadow thing is, or it seems to be like a manifestation of whenever she's asleep, this thing is awake and causing chaos. But, if Sakura is under some kind of, spell or whatever that's causing her to do this, and whatever Zoken's, like, if he's using it so that he wins the next Holy Grail War, like almost using it as a tool, I don't know. But then, you would think that Kirei would not be happy with Lancer going down to that if they were allying up. So I don't know the dynamic between those two yet, and if they are like allying up, but I'm sure once if we get to see what Gilgamesh has been talking to Sakura about, then I don't know, maybe we'll get that information then. Other than that, Shinji making, like, he's so different in this one compared to Unlimited Blade Works, which I'm really enjoying. I mean, he come to Shiro's aid at the end of the last movie, which is really good, really, really cool. At the moment, Saber has been swallowed up by this shadow mass thing and everything, and she's found somewhat of a doppelganger of Saber, but with yellow eyes. And I don't know to what degree, like, that is a separate entity, or is it just, again, like, more of a sort of manifestation of what she wants to see. Like, like maybe Saber thinks that she's too, I don't know, I don't know, but I'm sure we'll get more information on that coming up. And yeah, I mean, it was interesting just to see Shiro's sort of, like, I guess for a better term, kind of, a lack of development really in the first movie, because in Unlimited Blade Works, like, Shiro's always, like, pretty much from the get-go, he's getting involved with all of the fights and everything like that. And I mean, Shiro, while he was a part of the fights, he always felt like he was out of his depth entirely in the first movie, and the way that ended felt a bit sort of bitter in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like we didn't really get anything. He lost Saber, everything like that. Like it just felt like really bitter for him at the end of the last movie. But I feel like in terms of, I can't remember exactly what I said in the discussion for the last movie, but there was some, this idea that the first movie is where Shiro is pretty much useless in terms of combat. The second movie is probably where he starts getting a bit more adept at using his abilities and everything, and then the third movie will probably be where his full potential is unleashed, and he can use unlimited blade works. This is the thing though, will he ever get to that stage? Because we did talk about how Archer is not playing a really big role in Shiro's life at this moment in time, because Archer comes along with Rin, which mean and because Rin is not heading up the main girl role, they're not getting as much character time together for him to learn about any of this. A lot of his inspiration, because Archer is Shiro, right? It's like this time loop thing that always happens with Shiro, where he almost like influences himself and inspires himself time and time again. So it's going to be interesting to see, like in this movie, if we do get a lot more development, like with like the character time with Shiro and Archer, so that Shiro can start to inspire himself, and then we can go down that again. But with this being an alternate sort of path, I don't know if that is going to be the case, and there may be a difference in how Shiro progresses. So yeah, other than that, I don't think there's anything else that I really need to talk about. I don't think so. I think I basically outlined all of the main sort of points, which and I don't want to keep going on forever. So I think we're just going to get into the second movie and see what happens now. So yes, nothing else to really talk about. As always, the reaction to this movie is, it'll be cut down to like around 20 minutes ish, and it will be here on YouTube. But for whatever reason, in the future, if it gets taken down for copyright, I will re-upload this video as a discussion only, and the link to the reaction will be in the description below. And as always, the link to the full length to this movie will be in the description below as well. So if you do want to watch my full reaction to this movie, then that's the one there for you. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about, so we're going to get into Heaven's Feel 2, Lost Butterfly, it's called. So yeah, very, very excited. Let's go. She's there!
Saber! Saber!
God, this is very much like Fatal Frame-ish, if you know that game. Nope. Oh, God. God. Just wondering if she knows now that she's out of sleep, if she remembers anything, or... Yeah, she does know, I think. She's doing it. She's trying to keep him out of the Holy Grail War, that's why she took Saber away. It's had the opposite effect then. She wanted Shiro to admonish her and everything, right? Which means she knows that what she's doing is wrong, and but so I guess until we get Saber back, if we ever do, it's going to be sort of relying on Shinji being an ally, but taking advantage. I feel like that's the one. It's Elia, of course it is. Cute. Okay, she's buried in it. Did you realise something of Sakura's maybe in the picture? Oh man. Fuck's sake. These fucking bugs, man. I'm not gonna be here. Who's the phone call from? It's from Shinji?
Shinji! Sakuraを離せ!
Oh god, what are you doing, Shinji?
エミヤを殺したりはしないさ。ただちょっと痛い目に遭ってもらわないと。やれ、ライダー。
What's he getting out of this? I don't...
一人で来るべきではなかった。
Jesus Christ. This is fucked. Fucking hell. Dude, the weight of that could have killed him if it landed on him. You just saved him at the end of the last movie as well. Oh, God, man. Oh, what? He used the momentum of flying to one Shinji. I wonder if Ryder did that on purpose. Wow, nice. He shielded the hit. Oh, God. Maybe he saved Shiro because... Here he comes! Oh, fuck! Did he just kill her there?
あんたは完全に私を敵に回したのよ。
さくらマスターになったのは僕なんだぞ。立て、ライダー。
Yeah, she's still... Whoa! Sakura has more... She now has allegiance to... Or was she always? She was always... He was using the book to control Ryder, not the
今のマト家において最もマスターにふさわしい人間はマトの正当な後継者
Fuck.
本来の魔術師であるあなただものね、さくら。
That's why, like, in Unlimited Blade Work, she had a hurt hand at one point. Like, it looked like the crest was...
僕の代わりにあいつらを殺せ。さくら。
毒を破りました。先輩は殺さないって言ったのに。
死んじゃえよ、お前。
The hell's that? What the hell's that? Shit, isn't this the shadow thing?
制御できてないみたいね。
Oh my god. Fuck! Wow. Rotten nature. Interesting. Fucking hell! Wow. We're getting to see her eyes. It's like blood-curdling eye contact. Is this like a noble phantasm or something? Is she Medusa? Holy fuck! Oh my god! Bloody hell! Oh, for God's sake, Shiro! She might end up losing more control now. What the fuck? Damn it, fucking Shinji. Why the fuck did he have to go and do that? What? Wow, he doesn't have them at this point. different type.
刻印中は一度食らいつけば体の隅々まで浸透しひたすらに生を貪りつ結果
What on
この
earth?
主どもにたかられた女は心と体その二つを完全に侵され破壊される命を落とすだろう無理に引き抜けば体の方が持たぬそれこそ聖杯に頼るしかない
That's a wish that needs to be granted.
私が遠坂の魔術を継いだ。さくらはもう血の途絶えていたマトをマキリの後継者として養子に引き取られた。
Kirei is pleasantly enjoying this. This is house keys.
さくらには負けた。
Yeah.
だからこれをやる。さくらを見つけて俺は
Fucking hell, it's nighttime! No!
戦うんじゃないのか。
God!
シローはもうマスターじゃないもの。
Oh, okay then. Fair enough.
私が生まれた理由は聖杯戦争に勝つことだけど、リリアムの目的はキリツグとシローを殺すことだったから。私はシローの味方だよ。本当に帰る場所全部なくなっちゃったな。
さくら
He's just fucking managed to find her.
さっきのこれ毒でも何でもない、ただ感覚を敏感にするだけの薬です。
Oh, that's all it was, okay.
それだけで自分がわからなくなって先輩を傷つけたんです。先輩のお家に行っていたのもおじい様に逆らうのが怖くてです。ずっと騙してきました。私は先輩のそばにいていい人間じゃない。だからこんなのは今日限りにして明日からは知らない人のふりをしようって。でもできなかった。死のうってナイフを手首に当てた時より怖くて、私にとってはそれだけが意味のあることだったのに。
俺が守りたいもの誰もさくらを責めずさくらが自分で自分を責めるしかないのなら、俺は手を引いてちゃんと日の当たる場所に連れて行って他の誰が許さなくても俺がさくらの代わりにさくらを許し続ける。ここがさくらの家だ。
私少女じゃないんですよ。それからずっとよくわからないものに体を触られてきました。先輩に守ってもらう資格なんて。
Bless her.
俺がさくらを守るよ。俺はさくらだけの正義の味方になる。
Just for you this time. So, I mean, I'm sure that none of the other things go away of wanting to save other people, but when she says she's not a virgin anymore, like, I know the whole thing about the bugs and everything like that, but she's, because she referred to them afterwards as unnatural things.
エミやシロもし違う道を選ぶのならエミやシロに未来はない。
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it confirmed then. He's not going to go down the route of you know, trying to save everyone time and time again.
遠慮しなくても大丈夫よ。
Ah, right. I was thinking.
あなた方のような栄養摂取は必要としない。あなた方の作法は私には合わない。
それなら
Ah, right. Okay, a different way of eating. I see. Not chopsticks. I get it, yeah. Because she is Medusa, then it's Greek,
俺
right?
はさくらを勝たせて聖杯を使ってもらう。
Now needs
他の
to.
マスターと協力すべきだと思う。遠坂のアーチャー、さくらのライダー、あとはイリアの
Hercules.
バーサーカ
Yeah, dude. It's, oh, God. And Unlimited Blade Works he got done in by Gilgamesh, which, you know,
後悔
is
しているのですか。
almost like the only one that could take him, you know? Yeah, so I guess it's when the crest worms and everything eat away at her magical spirit and everything, that once she doesn't have enough, she becomes like this, and then therefore that thing takes over, right?
そうだ、外に出さなければいいんだ。そうすればもう危ない目に遭うことはないよね。
Oh, bloody hell. I didn't think it would come out like in her, like, you know, like in like some sort of like split personality way though. Look how cool! Come on.
呆れたわ。
Yeah, tell me about it.
失ってしまったの。マキリ、敵に至ろうとする絶望はどこから来たものなのか。
Talking like through our ancestors and everything, you know, like those that came before her.
アインツベルの聖杯、このマトを条件がもらい受け。
Alright, come on, Hercules. Fuck. You knew she was going to be here. Oh, fuck! Look at that sword! Fuck! This is like a dark Excalibur thing going on right now. Jesus! What on earth? Thing is, Saber was the only one alive when she went into there, so I'm wondering if there is a way we can get her back out. Fucking hell! Oh no, Hercules! I wonder how this is going to affect him, because he can die multiple times. Oh god! He comes back to life! Fucking hell! Jesus! Sick. Very nice. Zerga's always getting fucking trapped in... Oh my god! Oh. So much power. This How many times is that? How many times is it now? This has got to be the most chaotic fight so far of all of Fate. It's just so explosive, man. That is insane. That is nuts. He might actually win this. He might win this. Fucking hell. Oh my god. He's such a beast. Oh, fucking. Oh my god, it is purely Dark Excalibur in it. No. Jesus Christ. That is nuts. That is fucking insane. Shit, that's it. Yeah.
Saber!
Fucking hell. This could be Archer's last stand here. Oh, man. Maybe not. Canonical. What? Great word. Oh! Jesus! Fucking damn it! Motherfucker! What on earth? Oh, he's still fighting. Oh my god! Ugh. I was wondering when this was gonna. Oh yes, he's making the shield. He's making the shield. Oh. Yeah, I think it was Archer's last stand here. Jesus Christ! What on earth? What the fuck?
何もしなければ消えるのは2人だが、こうすれば確実に1人は助かる。
He's gonna give Shiro his arm.
ただいま、Sakura.
He's got Archer's arm, dude. That's insane. I wonder if this is how he's gonna be able to use some of Archer's power.
でもその腕を使えばアーチャーの魔術回路が起動する。
この布は
封印よ。
I can't believe he's got Archer's arm. That's just insane. Dude, don't eat. No, dude, you should told me it was a seal. That's cool. What the fuck? Fucking hell. That was crazy imagery right there.
シロ、あなたはサクラの味方ですか？この先に、たとえ何があったとしても。
Oh god. Oh god. She doesn't want blood this time, mate. Shiro got his end away. And Kirei knows it.
アーチャーの腕にアインツベルンの知識があるのよ。私はキシャーズルレッジの置き土産に興味はないけど。
Who?
魔法使いが残した宝箱は綺麗そうだから。と、私たちの中で先輩が一番強い。心のあり方が純粋だからです。
He can do it. He can do it now. Oh god, he'll go back to Shinji, who's fucking just having an existential crisis. Damn it, I thought he was going to be a good guy as well. I thought he was on that route. Some redemption, you know, but... Oh god. Right, okay. She's in fucking Fantasyland. What if this is what she sees when her shadow form is going mental? The fucking red eyes of all the animals. I wonder if this is what she's like. Obviously, she's seeing this, but in the real world, those are real people that she's killing. And when she's eaten. Oh god. Oh god, Gilgamesh. Bloody hell. Holy fuck. Oh my god! What? Oh, of course, to make him kneel. Christ. It's like some... God, these glitches! Gilgamesh, you're gonna have to get... Gotta have to get out of there, mate. Ugh. Fuck. Gilgamesh. I mean, fucking hell. Oh man, this is getting bad now. That is some insane power. I don't know what.
Sakura! 気づくな。やめろ。
Ah,
ただいま
bloody hell.
だけ帰ってきた守りたい人がいるって当たり前じゃない。でもそれはみんな平等にシローが目指すのがキリツグさんならやっぱり大事な人がいてもいいんだよ。キリツグさんは何度も何度も海外に出かけていたの。
He was going to learn that he was trying to get back to the. He's trying to get back to her.
どうしても会いたい人がいたのね。
I was wondering if that was ever going to be a thing. That's cool. I'm glad there's someone that's able to tell that side of Kiritsugu trying to get back there, you know, because no one else knows.
かつての自分を裏切るのか。
He's telling himself that. Yeah, that's where Zoken tells him you're gonna have to, you know what I mean? Like, this is a power that can't be controlled. You're gonna have to kill her.
言ってしまえばあれは聖杯の中身だ。
It
聖
is.
杯という門から溢れてる意志、それがあの影。
Shush.
私や当社家の娘では感づかれる。サーバントではただの餌だ。聖杯のかけらを埋め込み、わしが10年間育て上げてきたマトの聖杯を殺せるのは、
やめろ。
That's it.
そこにあるだけの人形が愛しい男の手で終わるのだ。
Damn.
さぞ本望であろう。桜の意識が空になれば無意識を借り受けていた聖杯が浮上する。10年前の災害が再現されよう。過去の例からいけばあと4日ほどか。
4 more days.
どうじゃ、桜は持つと思うか。
持つに決まってる。
だが他の人間はそう。
Yeah, I know, man. This is why it's fucked. This is a hell of a.
悪を打つ。お主がエミやキリツグを継ぐのなら、
That's what Kiritsugu would do, wouldn't he?
マト桜こそ
Fuck.
お主の敵だ。
二人で桜を見に行こ
Fuck me.
う。春になったら。
先輩
It's because what are they? I mean,
裏切るのか。ああ。裏切るとも。
he is going to betray himself.
約束守れなくてごめんなさい。
She doesn't want Shiro to.
先輩を殺さないでくれてありがとう。
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that when he was holding up the. Yeah, I fucking.
最後のレイジです。お願い、ライダー。
She's going to give it to Shiro.
兄さん、私。
ちょっと持ってみろよ。
Is it some kind? Could it heal something? Maybe like help, possibly.
いつか遠坂も超えられるんじゃないか。生意気だよ。僕の人形のくせに。
Bloody hell, Shiro.
私間違えたんだ。いつものように少し我慢すればいい。 慢して我慢して。
さくら。
私はもう先輩のものです。
So when she was saying that she wasn't a virgin, it was Shinji.
随分手なずけられたもんだな。
God, he was always a prick, wasn't he? Why did I think that he was getting a redemption? Fuck's sake.
エミヤにも教えてやらないとな。今までお前が
Shinji, if you're not careful, you're gonna end up dying,
つ
man.
いてきて。
こんな人
He's gonna die. He's gonna die. Well, that'll learn you, Shinji. This imagery, man. God. It's like the Grail opening up above almost. Oh shit. Oh my god, I wonder if she's like, if this is it, if like that's the last of her, so, and now she's like completely, now it's completely overtaken her. I don't think, oh, no! Okay. Heaven's Feel 2, Lost Butterfly. Fuck. I mean, it feels like the way that it ended, basically, I think it's basically saying that Sakura has completely lost control at this point. I think that's, I think that was the point it was making there at the end, where like almost it fused with her, whereas before it was like a blanket. It was like almost like a blanket, like, you know, draped over her. Whereas here we actually see that, you know, her face and everything is there. Her hair's obviously changed colour to white, but I think that's the what you would consider the shadow kind of taking over her, and now it's like she is just a vessel, as Zoken was saying, and that, you know, the you know, it like opening up above her is that symbolic sort of Holy Grail like opening up, right? That we've seen so many times before, and that must be what, you know, he meant, as in like it's the Grail of Mato, that it's something that he's been, you know, nurturing and creating, like, you know, for 10 years and everything. And so yeah, at this point it's tough. I mean, the way that it's going, I wasn't too sure after the first movie, but after this one I'm more sort of vindicated in thinking that I don't think this is going to have much of a happy ending, because I don't, well, I don't know actually, you know, when I say like maybe more of a bittersweet ending, I would say maybe there is a way in which, you know, he can save Sakura at the end of the day. Again, it's come down to the idea that win the Holy Grail War, make that wish. It's the only way, right? When Kirei was saying it, that's the only choice you have. You can't pry it from her because it's too ingrained, so it would kill her. So it has to be something that is a miracle, and a wish that can be granted by the Holy Grail in order to achieve that. Fucking Shinji, man. I can't believe in the first movie I thought there was something there that was like, shit, like there's a redemption on for Shinji here, considering what he did in Unlimited Blade Works, but fuck me, what he did in this one's just even worse. And I think that happened all the time. I thought there was something there. I thought that like there was a reasoning for Shinji's like sheer bitterness and just all around evil exploits and everything. but nothing can redeem him from that. So that was one of my questions in the earlier on in the movie, where she said, "I'm not a virgin anymore," but she said it separate from what she said after, where she said after that, she was basically being molested by all these unnatural things afterwards, and so I thought that, like, what she mentioned beforehand, did she actually mean that she's had sexual intercourse with somebody? And it was Shiro the whole fucking time. What a... Oh. I feel like ill now after thinking that he was any good in the first movie. Realistically, in the first movie, the only reason why he sent Ryder to help was because he wanted to cause Shiro pain himself. He wanted to be the one to do it, kind of thing. Well, it's either that, or because we found out that Sakura was actually the true master of Ryder, that maybe she overruled Shinji and sent, you know, that's a possibility as well. But then I've got to wonder what these potions or elixirs that Shinji was making are, and that there was something different with this one that compared to the other one that basically heightened her senses, and then therefore she went mental, you know. She couldn't control it when that exploded on her, you know. So I wonder what this new one is. I'm gonna hazard a guess that because Shinji's on there's so many fucking S's, because Shiro's on his way, he will probably find that, pick it up, and it'll probably be something that can do the opposite effect. Lower her senses, bring her back from, you know, something. So I guess there's something at least good that Shinji's done, but, like, again, like, it's nothing compared to the shit that he's you know, that he's put Sakura through and everything. So yeah, interesting. That using a command seal to gift someone else the rank of master, but it doesn't truly make you a master. Now, before Sakura left, she gave the last command seal to Ryder and said, please, we didn't, you know. My thought is that she's granted Shiro the master role. I have to just assume that at this point. And also, in the first movie, I was wondering if there's a way that we could actually bring Saber back. I'm tending to think now, I don't think we can. Because the thing is, with all the other ones that went in, like, got enveloped by the shadow and everything like that, they were dead when they got caught up in it. Whereas Saber was alive when she did it. So I thought maybe there's a way we can bring her out. I guess it can still happen in the third movie, but you know, we'll have to wait and see, because the way that, like, especially that fight against Berserker, Saber and Berserker, that was insane. That had to have been the most, like, it had to have been the most explosive, like, the sheer power that was coming out of Dark Saber there was insane. But then I have to assume that that's because that's the power that's coming through Sakura, and that sort of, and, you know, fused with that sort of Grail power, Grail of Mato power, that's like, that makes it so devastating. Because Saber could never, like, I know that Saber's, like, Excalibur attack is, like, really bad, like, really, like, it's huge, but the scale of the scale of Dark Saber was nuts. And I think, you know, towards the end of that fight, when she, you know, she went up and, you know, put the sword, you know, pointed towards Shiro, that that wasn't Saber in there. Like, I don't think there was any Saber you could take out of it more so than just using her body in a way. And I guess we could still pull Saber out somewhere in the last movie, but I'm thinking possibly not. You know, because we're at the point now where Shiro, like I said, in this movie he would develop some kind of fighting force within himself, and we've gotten that through the fact that he's actually got Archer's arm, which is insane. Fuck, I could have never even thought in a million years that would happen, but it is cool. So I think in the third movie, I don't think it's a case of like Saber coming in to help. I think Shiro has to be the one to level up, and he is the one that ends all of this. So yeah. Yeah, I don't even know where to go from that. I mean, I guess we're on Dark Saber and everything like that. So yeah, that fight was absolutely nuts. So just the sheer destruction in that fight was insane. Again, Hercules like gets amazing moments. Like he's a full on beast, and I just love the fact of like his noble phantasm is coming back from the dead so many times, you know. But because it puts a countdown on it, and that's pretty much what was happening in this fight. Is like, it's about how long he can last. And I like the fact that it brought back from Unlimited Blade Works that point where, like, when Ilya feels under the most distress and calls out for Berserker, like, he goes to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, we saw that when he was up against Gilgamesh, but fucking hell, like, the only two things that could have ever beaten Hercules, it's happened in both of them. But, yeah, I mean, carrying on from that, we move immediately into Archer versus Assassin. Archer gets the best of him, of course. I mean, slashes his mask, but also like where his eyes were. So I was wondering if he was blind. But the fact of like he shows up later at Shiro's house makes me think that I don't think he's blind. But you know, it was cool. It was enough to get him to go away. And then, of course, the shadow appears, and Archer's last stand was incredible. It's perfect that, you know, I am the bone of my... It's gotten to the point now where you only need to hear the first syllable of that sentence, and it's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? It's such a cool like sort of mantra before he, you know what I mean, before he does his thing. And it wasn't Unlimited Blade Works, but it was Ice, I believe it's called, the shield, which couldn't do enough against the power. I mean, this movie really showcased just the sheer like power that this thing has. It's nuts. Like, Gilgamesh had no chance against it at all. I mean, previously Gilgamesh has been the most overpowered one, but in this, like, that fucking hell, like, Gilgamesh does not play a big part in Heaven's Feel, does he? I thought there would be bigger things to come from Gilgamesh, but it wasn't. So, but that was another interesting thing as well. Like, Gilgamesh is, you know, he said that, like, I mean, this is the thing that he must have been saying to her the whole time. Like, you know, when we saw that one scene where, you know, we didn't hear them talk, but that Gilgamesh was basically warning her, like, not to get to this kind of degree, but, you know what I mean? And that he was going to put her out of his misery. But then, you know what I mean? Like, seeing the, like, her actual shadow. I like that sort of, like, kind of imagery that, because it's referred to as the shadow, even though it's a physical manifestation of just, like, kind of a lot of darkness and everything like that. But even when Sakura is herself and you can see her own physical body and everything, that the shadow she casts is the thing that is that sort of manifestation of power. So when, you know, Gilgamesh sees it, it's huge. It's like, fucking hell, I can't believe you've advanced to this stage, to the point where Gilgamesh just didn't have a fucking chance. And by taking Gilgamesh back in, if you want to refer to the idea that this shadow is like the Grail of Mato, you know, the whole thing about the Holy Grail was that it summons these heroic spirits from the past, and then, you know, once they are killed off and everything, it takes it back. But in this case, like, the Grail of Mato, like, basically sucked Gilgamesh into it, which give her like even more explosive power. Like, you know what I mean? Because imagine that. Imagine Gilgamesh being the most overpowered one that we've seen so far, and then adding that to this shadow thing. It's like, fuck. There's gonna have to be some insane, like, I mean, fucking hell, the last movie's gonna, I mean, if the Dark Saber stuff was like incredibly explosive, I can't even imagine what it's gonna be in the third movie. Because whatever the last fight is going to be, like the climax, it's going to have to be like just massive. But yeah, so Archer basically, I mean, he sacrifices himself using Roaeus, the shield, which still doesn't hold them back enough. Ends up actually really hurting Shiro to the point where he completely lost his arm. Archer cuts it off, gives it to him. Now, we didn't see him die, but I mean, you have to assume that he did, because, you know, it's this idea that, like, you know, he's sacrificing something so that he said 2 people, so I'm guessing he's saying Rain as well. But like, that kind of damage, like, you know what I mean, it's from the shoulder down, so it's not even like, you know, if your arm gets cut off like here, at least there's something to kind of like stop. But open up here, it's like, that is a lot. Like, you're talking about all this area of just like, you know, it's too much, I think. So even Archer wouldn't be able to, you know. But the fact that he sacrifices himself once on the hopes that they don't get hit up in the explosion, and then does it again by actually giving, you know, his arm to Shiro is insane. But I really like that twist of, like, because that was a question that I had, was because they went, like, it's going down a different route. I said that Shiro and Archer wouldn't have this kind of, you know, dynamic and everything. They wouldn't be close enough together at all times for him to be inspired by him and everything like that. So, but it is interesting just seeing Archer's perspective from it, that, you know, he wanted to kill Shiro in the end. I mean, that's why it's almost like he tells himself that's why he came back in UBW. But in this one, it's interesting because Shiro does that because he doesn't want to go back through the loop. But because he sees him going down a different route, he has no reason to kill him off. So yeah, he just lets, you know, he lets him go down it. But again, like, even though there is that, and I know at the end of UBW, like, Archer just admits that, you know, of course this was always going to be the way. I just thought that I could, you know what I mean, I could change it, if, you know, so we wouldn't have to go through all this pain, but of course it was inevitable. So in this movie, like, you see, like, he's asking the question, like, are you going to betray everything that you've, you know, everything that you've stood for? And he does say yes. But he did give the other option a try of trying to kill Sakura, and he just couldn't do it. So it's going to be what's it at the cost of, because there's going to be some people caught up in it, and I would love for Ilya, and I would love for all of them to make it out, Ilya, Rin, and Sakura. But I mean, the thing is that we have to assume that the Grail of Mato, as he refers to it as, is not a wish-granting Grail, and that only comes from the real one, which is in Ilya. And if the wish has to then that means that Ilya is going to really be sacrificed at some point. I wish that wasn't the case, but I feel like it just might be, and it kind of sucks, because I don't want that to be the case, especially like with that whole thing that, you know, what was her name? It's Fuji Sensei, isn't it? She was the only one that could actually give Ilya that kind of information, like that kind of closure, or, like, you know what I mean, that what Kiritsugu was trying to get back to the whole time, but the Einspans wouldn't let it. So, you know what I mean, I'm just glad that she gets to know that, you know. Because I was thinking, yeah, like, there's no one alive to even prove that what Kiritsugu was trying to do. But that was one way around it, so I'm glad that happened. But man, yeah, I would like all of them to, to remain, because Reen dying would really suck, because we haven't had to worry about that yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's never happened before. Like, you know what I mean? Ilya has, but Reen hasn't. So I don't know. I don't know if I could be able to take that one. That's the other thing as well. Is like, I don't know how, considering how strong Sakura and the Shadow is at this point. Like, who really has the power to go against that? I mean, I know that Shiro ultimately will be that crux, because he was the only one that could beat Gilgamesh at that point. You know what I mean? Because he could go toe to toe with him with Unlimited Blade Works. It was just like the perfect thing to go against him. But to go against this is completely different. Gilgamesh just went like that, and he didn't even stand a chance. So I don't even know what they're going to be able to do. They've only got Ryder, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, that's all there is, isn't it? There's Ryder and Assassin. There's no one left. So I don't know, maybe in the third movie, maybe Saber does come back and is able to assist in some form or fashion, because with only Ryder on his side, I don't know. Because it's now put up an interesting dynamic of Sakura is, well, the Shadow itself is like the big villain, but then you've also got Zoken, who is also a villain, but is also trying to take like out the Shadow, because he can't control it. And then you've got Shiro, who has this whole like thing of, does he kill Sakura to save, like, you know what I mean, because this thing is out of control. Or does he try and save her these final 4 days or 3 days at this point, maybe, that, like, to get that wish, because fucking hell, at this point it's just, you just don't know. There was another thing as well, that since they all obviously, went to live in Shiro's house, they were trying to find a way in which to get like this kind of like knowledge out of like Archer's arm and everything. And Ilya come up with something saying Keisha's like Zell something, which I don't think we've heard that before. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we have, which is which I'm wondering, like, what kind of, I mean, maybe it's a thing that was just planted in this movie, and then we'll get the information of that in the third movie. But it's something that I don't believe in the previous Fate shows we've heard before. It was almost like some kind of, like, I don't know, because I don't think Shiro knew what she meant by that. Like, why would she just come out and say it? It almost felt like something like a some kind of poetry or something. You know what I mean? The way she said it, the intonation of it and everything. I don't know. But yeah, they kind of did rush through that like whole thing as well. I did notice that, and I mean it's fine. It's just that, like, it's a quick turnaround, I suppose, of like learning all of this. You know what I mean? Like the training was real quick, but I guess it was in Unlimited Blade Works as well. I think that was a quick turnaround as well when he was like training with Saber and stuff. So You know, I guess it's not like, you know, that big a deal, but I thought there would be more like learning how to use it and everything. But you know, I mean, we haven't seen him actually truly use it yet, so we could get like that in the third movie. Yeah, what else? Oh yeah, Ryder. So Ryder took off the mask, took off the things that are covering her eyes, and petrified people by staring at them. So she has to be Medusa then. No one said it, but she has to be. That's cool. That's cool. Because I can't remember if I did actually like ask, well, who's she then? Because that's always been a big thing in the Fate series, is that these heroes, like, you know, they crop up and they are just referred to as their class. They're not, you know, because it's one thing to kind of like hide, you know, who you really are, so that people can't tell what your noble phantasms are and everything, and then therefore they can't counter you. So it's one of those things that just kind of, you know, keep secret, keep under wraps. And I'm glad that that was, you know, acknowledged. But that's just really cool, because obviously in Unlimited Blade Works she never did that. So because I think Unlimited Blade Works, she didn't even last like an episode or two, you know what I mean? She was dead pretty much immediately. So yeah, and Kirei basically using up all of these seals to heal Sakura, which that was insane as well, because that was completely different to what happened in Unlimited Blade Works. You know, but at this point, like, it's interesting. Kirei, when he had that little monologue when he was talking to Gilgamesh in the church, I think what he was referring to there, because I didn't know what he was talking about at the time, but I think he must have been talking about, you know, he said something about a separate Grail, and I think what he's talking about there is the Grail of Mato, so he does know all about that and everything. You know, and he's thinking that with the, I guess, addition of that, this Grail will come to an end properly, which is what he's been trying to do the whole time with this one, is he wants to mediate this Grail war to end what he refers to as the right way, whereas the previous ones, they ended up in calamity and everything, and, you know, they just try to destroy the Holy Grail and everything. But in this one, he's hoping for it to come to a proper conclusion, because that's what Kirei wants. You know what I mean? He wants to meet, you know, and understand everything about it, you know. So that's really cool. And he might get his wish. Because if the only way to save Sakura is to get that Grail and grant a wish, that is a proper conclusion. But there's also this other thing of, previously stated in Unlimited Blade Works, the idea of Heaven's Feel. The reason why it's called Heaven's Feel is because somebody, or it might be back in Fate Zero, was it like Tosaka or something that like said, like mentioned it, like this idea of like, well, first of all of the servants have to be sacrificed in order to you know, get to the, you know, the gate or whatever, and then achieve Heaven's Feel. Which I guess if Kira is thinking about it that way, heavens, right, then, you know, he's wanting to speak to, you know, God or whatever, that what does it truly mean? And I'm interested to see what that will, like, what an actual end to the Grail War would look like, because all we've seen so far previously is that it's ended in chaos, because they just try to destroy the Grail rather than actual grant a particular wish. But, you know, so yeah, fucking hell, other than that, I don't know. I mean, the thing is that one of the great things in this movie in particular was actually the imagery of a lot of stuff. The first one that came up and like cropped up was the Sakura in the train, and seeing, you know, her father Rin and their mother like go separate, like trains going the opposite way. You know, it's just that was a kind of a very like visual representation of exactly how she feels. You know what I mean? Completely just like cut off, going opposite directions. You know, but the other one was obviously the like what Sakura is saying, which is interesting. Like why it's taking that sort of form or effect. Like obviously it's a way to, you know, I guess to give her a false sense of like this kind of illusion that things that she are doing is very happy and free, and when in reality what she's doing is massacring people. You know what I mean? I thought so. As like as soon as it happened, like soon as like she went into that state, because that's the thing, is what we do know is what happens is when she falls asleep and she goes into that you know, she like unconscious, because she is asleep, this thing awakes. So when we saw her, like, you know, she closes her eyes and then this fucking starts happening, I'm like, I bet you any money that this is just a false visual for what is actually going on, and that everything she is seeing is just, oh, she's basically annihilating these little like fucking nuisance teddy bears, you know what I mean? And they're like piñatas and they explode into candy. But in reality, she's literally like, those candy is people's body parts. It's fucked. It's really fucked. This the fucking heavens feels so dark. It's so dark, which is why I'm just kind of like wondering how it's going to end. Like, is it really going to be a happy ending? I don't know, man. I feel like there has to be, to some degree. You know what I mean? But then it could just be like more of like, I mean, because people did say that Heavens feels more like Fate Zero. You know, like it's a hell of a lot like more darker, like Zero was, and Zero didn't have like a happy ending. You know, so it could just be one of those things where like Sakura's just too far gone at this point, and this is the only thing we can do. You know, but you know, we will see. Other than that, I don't know. Is like, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I don't think there is. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I just thought it was nice that we got like this sort of alternate thing where a lot of the characters of like the things are vastly different. You know what I mean? I was wondering coming into this into Heaven's Feel whether or not like a lot of things would stay the same. Like the idea of like Ilya actually being, you know, Ilya not feeling as much of a psychopath in this one as she has done in like Unlimited Blade Works, for example, you know, where she just wants to kill Shiro. But the thing is that the one thing I will say is that I don't know, and you know, help me in the comments and everything, like kind of understand a bit more, but it did seem like there wasn't much to change Ilya's mind on Shiro and then deciding not to kill her, just because what I got from it was the only reason she changed her mind was because because Shiro cared for somebody. That's it. I don't, you know. Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because one of those things is that because previously she saw Kiritsugu as like abandoning her, not thinking about anyone. Like she probably thought that they were selfish and didn't deserve to live because they only thought about themselves. But seeing Shiro actually try to protect someone, maybe that was something that forced her in her mind and actually made her see things a bit more like, oh wait a minute, Shiro does care for someone else, so he's not selfish. It could be that. You know, but yeah, I mean, yeah, what else? I don't think there's really all that much else. Shiro and Sakura banged. Nice. You know what I mean? Being a movie, that I mean, they can get away with that. You know, I could never see them doing that in the show. I mean, for Christ's sake, the one time that Shiro and Rin would have, they didn't. They decided not to do it. So, you know, Yeah, so that, you know, there was that. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that kind of like undertones of like sexual abuse that you could see with her, that, you know, she was when it all became like kind of too much to bear, there was a lot of like, there's a lot of like those undertones in her being sort of like overtaken by like this arousal and stuff, which is real in our life, you know. So, you know, you have those people have those tendencies to be like more sexual based on sexual experiences and stuff, and with the sexual abuse that she suffered, it's you know, it's not a surprise that that's one of almost like a trigger, like warning for the power over, like, you know, controlling her. But yeah. Damn, I just can't get over fucking Shinji, man. I don't know why. I just thought that in the first movie it was almost like setting up this whole like redemption thing for him, but it's just not. It just isn't. It's crazy how they just, that massive, it just felt like a twist. You know what I mean? But it just makes me feel shitty for just giving him so much credit in the first one to this. Yeah, he deserved what he got, man. So, yeah, I don't think I have anything else to really talk about. So if I did miss anything, I do apologise. You know, but it's basically setting up this whole thing of like Shiro going against everything that he's ever stood for. Basically turning his back on you know, his whole thing for Kiritsugu and everything to do this, you know what I mean? But there's also that other thing of like being a hero of justice is saving everyone, and Sakura is someone, so, you know, and someone that, you know, he clearly cares for. But the dime has switched on caring more, so the focus is more on Sakura as opposed to, you know, in Unlimited Blade Works, Shiro it was like everything, like it was everyone. It was more equally spread until the end when he could focus on Rin, you know. But yeah, anyway, that's all I've got. Absolutely insane. Ended on a fucking a bitter note again, which is why I don't know if it's gonna be that way in the third one. I just hope there's some kind of, you know, alleviation and like relief and like some happiness at the end of the third one. But you know, that's to wait and see. So I don't know when that will be out. Hopefully soon. I don't know if is it out right. I think it got released like last month, I think, the third one, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I'm sure it'll not be too long away. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well, so if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access, gives you access to shows a week early. There is the full-length tier, which gives you access to full-length for shows and everything, and then there's the exclusive tier, which gives you access to the full-length movie reactions and everything. So if you want to see my full-length to this and other movies, then that is the one for you. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.